Hello, Kentucky friends. This is real. You know that having a shortage of players and some things can get in the way, but that's not easy to say, and you don't even know what to say about it. Before the news, subscribe to the channel dedicated to news about the Cats. Solving Kentucky's basketball problems with a weakened roster is easier said than done. Reality hit Mark Pope's team hard last Saturday, and as much as they say that it's possible to overcome the shortage of players, the truth is that, sooner or later, the bill comes due. And for the Wildcats, it came at the most inopportune time. Kentucky had the victory in hand against Texas, playing away from home, but let it slip away in the final minutes. The basketball game doesn't end after 37 minutes, and the last three were a nightmare for the Cats, who watched the Longhorns turn every mistake into points to secure an 82-78 victory. It was Kentucky's fourth stumble in the last 6 conference games, a result that exposes the harsh reality. Without Lamont Butler and Jackson Robinson, the challenge only increases. Mark Pope called what happened a little mishmash of problems. It's an optimistic way to put it, but the fact is that the absences weigh heavily. And for a team that has already been inconsistent throughout the season, any missing piece makes a difference. The bad news? The return of Butler and Robinson seems far away. The worst news? The schedule doesn't get any better. In the next SEC games, Kentucky faces Auburn, Alabama, and Missouri, 3 teams that are fighting for the top of the standings. After that, March Madness arrives where there is no room for error. The Wildcats coach says he has the guys we need to win, and that's true, but it's not just about who's available. It's about how this team will react under pressure. The problem was evident against Texas. Without Butler and Robinson, Kentucky still managed a big win against Tennessee at Rupp Arena, but it was a night when the team's long-range shooting was down. Against the Longhorns, it was a different story. Just 6 of 24 on threes, a much lower rate than the team had been. Kobe Brea, who was second in the SEC in three-point shooting, was held to 0. Otega Owa made just 1 of 5 attempts. Travis Perry, who took over at point guard in Butler's absence, had a reasonable performance, but the team's lack of depth was evident. Amari Williams was one of the bright spots on the night, dominating the paint with 18 points and 12 rebounds. But the free throws took a toll. Williams missed 6 shots from the line, and in a game decided by the details, that makes a difference. And then there's the defense. Kentucky's defensive inconsistency has been a constant problem, and against Texas, it was no different. Trey Johnson, the conference's sensation freshman, did whatever he wanted and finished with 32 points. Tramon Mark, a veteran accustomed to big games, was decisive in the final minutes and closed with 26. Now, the Wildcats are 2-4 in away games in the SEC. They've shown they can win away from Rupp Arena, but they've also suffered painful losses, some against teams that don't even have a positive record in the league. And that's not a good sign for a team that dreams of a big run in March. Mark Pope knows he needs to find solutions, and the fans trust in his work. It's hard to blame a coach who inherited a complicated situation and has already managed to pull off some good wins out of the hat. But the reality is that in the SEC and in the NCAA tournament, teams with holes in their roster pay a high price. Pope is right that we need to find a way. The problem is that it won't be easy. I want to hear your thoughts now. Comment,